Hello and welcome to another episode of the Money Series TV with me, Kangathan Chiroge. I'm here with Uchumi Chief Executive, Mr. Mohammed, who's going to give us an overview of where the business is since he took over. Thank you very much for being with us today.
Okay, thank you, Kangathan.
All right. You're generally new in Uchumi Supermarket. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about yourself, where you've come from, and where we're going.
Okay. First of all, my experience mostly has been in the finance sector. I worked with various companies before, and I've been involved in several turnarounds. They might not have been highlighted, but I think Uchumi is getting a lot of exposure at the present moment. So where we are right now, of course, my vision is to turn around this company, okay, within the shortest time possible. But what I'd like people to be aware of is that turnarounds are not easy. It's not an easy process. No one can come and talk about an overnight turnaround. It's impossible. So, of course, there are several obstacles that we're facing right now. There are several stakeholders that we must manage. And in that process, I think when we all come together, I believe that this company can get back to profitability. Of course, the competitive environment has changed. The new players who have come in. It will not be as easy as before to penetrate into the market. But what I'm looking at is to play in a different line. Because some of the major names have already occupied certain sectors of the market. Now, looking at the entire retail industry, from the last statistics of Nielsen, it's approximately a 300 billion Kenyan shilling industry. The modern trade only occupies between 33 to 40% at the present moment. So there's still 60% in which we can play in. And there's several aspects, there's several parts of the market that have not been explored. And that is where Uchumi is going to play.
All right.
Yes.
Let's talk about the issues that are affecting the company right now. There's a strategic investor that was supposed to come in. You could just tell us what happened with that. Are you still looking for an investor to come in on board? You've also talked about the franchise model that you're planning to bring on board. Maybe you could also give us an overview of what that entails.
First of all, you'd be surprised to know that there's several interested investors in the business. But you understand from a regulation point of view is that we cannot disclose at the present moment. I keep saying that until we sign a document, and we must follow procedure. We must notify CMA, we must then notify the public, and we must eventually call even for an AGM to ratify whatever proposal that we get. So interests are there. Even as of yesterday, I received another letter from an interested party.
How many?
So far, I think I have about 4 letters. And even the previous one who you keep saying that pulled out without mentioning names. Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, we are still in talks. Okay? But, I mean, the process of bringing any investment, again, takes time. So we've got, there's the immediate need of cash. And the immediate need of cash can only be addressed by liquidating some of the idle assets. And this is why selling of Kasarani land is key. And possibly also looking at other areas where we identify some of the idle assets that can convert into cash, so that we're able to focus, bringing in the strategic investors, so that and to create value for the shareholders. Because then again, if you push so much, shareholders lose value, because they'll come and take advantage. I mean, you might not get the best deal. So we want to make sure we get the best deal, and due process is followed in getting that investor on board.
All right. You've also been having issues with the government not releasing cash. I don't know, you had 500 million that's still with the government.
First, let me appreciate the government for everything that they've done. Yeah? I think the government has done quite a lot for Uchumi over time. Okay? And I don't want to hold the government responsible for any unlocking of any cash, because they've already released most of the cash. And even whatever had been what had been budgeted for before is still in process. I mean, it's not something that we're going to talk about right now, but of course there are certain steps that we must fulfill before we can engage the government any further in terms of any sort of cash.
All right. Yes. Okay, let's talk about the franchise model. What does that entail? Maybe you could just give us an overview of that, and whether you have started that already with any of your...
The franchise model, first of all, it minimizes our costs, and then it increases our footprint. Because what you're doing is that you're using your name, your brand name, and people are owning that brand, whichever branch they're going to own it, at their own cost. And secondly, it means anyone who's interested in the name can open up. So it's easy to have 200 branches even in 3 years at every corner of this country if that franchising model works very well. And it's a model that is being adapted globally right now. I mean, even if you look at most international companies, even here in Kenya, some of these food chains, they're actually on franchise. You've also got to anticipate the probable diseconomies of scale that come with rapid expansion, the capital requirements that come with it. Because you can't, this is a capital consuming business, especially if you look at investing in brick and mortar. Yeah? It's a heavy investment business for the fittings and everything. And every time as you go, people expect more. So it actually requires a heavy investment, and I believe that the franchising model is a way for us at least to be able to create some bit of stability before we can actually take off. Yeah.
All right. What has been the biggest challenge in turning around the company?
First of all, it's money. Okay. We need to get cash. Okay. 2, it's the belief. I think many people don't believe that can happen because of the cycle of what I think this is like the 3rd time that it's happening to Uchumi. But the few of us who are in it are driven by the passion and belief that it can actually turn around, because the name is still within many Kenyans' hearts. I grew up with this brand. Okay, even when I used to go shopping when I was in high school, I used to do my shopping in Uchumi, and it's a local brand, and it's and then from a different point of view, you must protect local companies to sustain future employment of our people, okay, of the local people, because if all these local companies don't survive, how are you going to have sustainable growth in the economy? Through SMEs and through employment. So it's key, it's part and parcel. For me, I mean, I'm keen on that. I'm keen to see this company turn around. I'm keen to see this company playing an important role within economic growth, and I'm keen just to make sure that it becomes successful.
All right.
Yes.
In your own way, what do you think, how long do you think it will take for Uchumi to get back to its glory?
Of course, the first few steps, first of all, is to be able to be, if I use some financial terms, at least the business to be able to take care of its operating expenses. So first of all, expenses must come down. Now, when we unlock the short-term cash, it's a process that I could see happening within a period of 6 to 9 months. When we are able to unlock the long-term capital, it's something, profitability can be achieved depending on the time the cash comes in. Profitability can be achieved in the next 12 to 24 months. And then growth now will happen from 24 months to 36. However, depending on the market situation, it can still happen in the next 24 months. It is possible. Right. Yes.
Okay. Now, even as you seek an investor, earlier you wanted 3.5 billion. Is this the same money that you're seeking right now from another investor?
You see, the authorization we have from the AGM is to raise additional capital of 5p. Okay, and that 5p had been anticipated some time back. Now, we can still work with the 3.5, but of course, as the business is, it does require additional capital injection. Now, there are various ways in which that can be done, because once we engage in a third-party consultant, they allow us also to see how best we can bring in the stakeholders to participate in that process. So, even if we look at the business at a 5B requirement, it can be a cash, asset, and creditor process to be able to, restructure the balance sheet to a sustainable level. Yes.
Are you going to the market to look for cash from shareholders?
The two key shareholders is Jamii Bora Bank and the government. The government has done more than enough. Jamii Bora is supporting us in other ways, okay? And there's still other shareholders who are also keen to see that Uchumi, comes back on its feet. So there are various levels of engagement, and it might not necessarily be cash. It's different ways, because even if you're going to be able to play a part in mobilizing the suppliers to come back, being one of our key stakeholders, it's also an important thing for the business. Yeah, because we are only looking at cash, but even if you get cash and suppliers are not on board, you won't succeed. If you get cash and lenders are not on board, nothing will happen. If you get cash and the shareholders don't believe in the business, you still have trouble. Yeah, and even if you get cash and the employees and landlords also do not support you, you will still have challenge. So all stakeholders must come on board, and we must tell them that now we're ready to take off.
Right.
Yes.
And I know the suppliers have been an issue because of the debt that you still owe them. How are you planning to work with them coming on board as you turn around?
Okay. Once we unlock the cash, of course, we have to agree with the suppliers about the payment of that old debt, which is a key priority for us to make sure that part of that old debt, part of it or all of it, is going to be paid based on the capital injection that we get in the business. However, at the same time, we're also testing the real-time payments, in which Uchumi will be part of those government requirements for prompt payments. And we are looking at ensuring that after we do successful tests, that Uchumi can be able to achieve real-time payments to all the suppliers. So you can get paid as soon as your product is sold off from the in our locations.
How is that working? Do you have a new software that...
We're working with a company, okay? It's a software, it's a change of software, and it's almost like a digital wallet system. So you'll be able to, any supplier can be able to see exactly what has been sold, and they can be able to withdraw their cash almost immediately. It's a game changer for Uchumi, it's a game changer for suppliers in the market, especially instead of keeping suppliers cash for a long time, we want to pay suppliers as soon as your product is sold. Yes, and I think that's a key thing for us to support suppliers because of the support that they've shown to Uchumi to date. Yes.
Are Kenyans supporting the brand? And if what is that one thing you're going to tell Kenyans who are watching what to do and how to support the brand?
First, believe in the brand as Kenyans. Believe that we must support it for our own future. And three is that when we are able to restock, come back and start doing the shopping. Because we are in that process after we engage the suppliers and we get the short-term cash, then we start restocking, and we do expect at least Kenyans to come back and support us. And we will try as much as possible to stock whatever we can in the branches.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you very much for talking to us.
Okay. Thank you.